Okay, guys, we're just waiting. What? It worked.
I made it.
Oh God.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
can
couldn't even hear on my live.
Yeah, that was weird. I just like, you can only send a request, and then I canceled it and resent it. I don't know. Anyways, yay! We're
Thank
here.
you so much for hosting, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. All good.
Awesome. I'm so excited that you're doing this with me. I have worked with lots of scars, even in the lip, but never a cleft lip. And the first thing I thought was, I need to reach out to Jody and see if she will just like walk me through this, because I think lots of artists have these questions, and it's so exciting and so fun and so life-changing. And I'm sure of all people, you are the one who knows that, because you deal with all kinds of scars. So I want you, I guess, to give us a little intro so that if anyone out there doesn't know what you do or is interested in what you do, they can know more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for hosting me via me hosting, and excited to have this talk as well. We have been back and forth many times chatting about paramedical. I love and respect everything that you do. And I guess a little bit of an intro about me. If you don't know me, I'm Jody Stoski. I have an online paramedical tattoo academy, and I teach PMUs how to heal with these life-changing, often camouflage style tattoos. And that's what Britt and I are going to talk about today, is a cleft lip that she came across and, you know, wanted to talk about it. And we came up with this great idea of doing an online consult, which I was saying earlier, I've never done before, but like, pretty cool idea. And yeah, I'm excited to hear your questions.
Awesome. Good. I'm excited to have you. How long have you been doing this, Jody?
So I started doing paramedical tattooing in 2008. So it's been a hot minute.
Awesome. So you've seen the industry totally change, I'm sure.
Yes, I have. I mean, I'm sure you get this too, Britt, because you've been doing this for a long time. Like, back in the day, if you said you tattooed people's faces or you tattooed eyebrows or whatever, you're just like kind of met with this blank stare, and no one ever knew what you were talking about. So I was like in this constant state of always explaining what I did for work. And now it's totally not like that, unless I'm talking about paramedical tattooing, which then sort of gets that same glazed over blank look on the face. And then once I explain what it is, people are just intrigued. They love it. They are in it, whether they are part of the industry or they're not. They want to hear everything about it. So I guess paramedical tattooing, just to describe for anybody who's watching that doesn't know what it is it's a 3D hyper realistic tattoo that we use for clients that have usually been affected by injury or illness. So illness often being cancer, doing 3D restorative tattoos, just to like put one out there. And then from injury, like you went through a car accident, you had a skin graft. So how can we improve those scars, be it, you know, to camouflage them or just improve tone and texture, that kind of stuff.
So fascinating. I think that we both have a pretty cool job, but adding that paramedical is just so it's like so fascinating to me. So awesome. Okay. So I think some of the questions that I have and some of colleagues have are, one of the biggest things is scarring on the lip versus the vermilion, or like, sorry, the skin versus the vermilion.
Yeah, definitely. So the difference when you're tattooing just skin versus getting into like a vermilion border or actual lip tissue is similar if you already tattoo lips. You know, the tissue is quite different. You're kind of dealing with a mucous membrane versus like regular tissue that does not have that component. So I find that it is a little bit trickier to get pigment into like the lower part of the lip. If the vermilion border is just, if you're kind of getting into the skin as well, it does adhere like pretty easily. And then going into just regular skin, it's butter. Going into scars is can be a bit trickier. It's finicky. Sometimes it takes a couple goes. The amazing part about working on scars in that regard is each time you are working on them, you are you're revising that scar. You're improving it because you're getting the skin to start reproducing collagen and elastin. So we have the opportunity each time, without overdoing it, to get your body's natural immune response up there. And that in itself can be a massive game changer as far as just the appearance and like even the color of a scar.
That is amazing. Have you found with certain clients that there are scars in the cleft lip, like, or with your cleft lip clients, that the scarring can feel different from client to client?
It can, but it's actually probably one of the more consistent scars that I see. They typically run like, you know, right kind of up into the nose, and usually sort of, you know, just kind of that vertical scar. They usually don't look too much different than that from what I've seen. And you know what? They're good looking scars, and they're really easy to make disappear.
Awesome. Okay, so I want to talk a little about needles with you. When I go in to tattoo a typical lip, I am typically using a 1RL or even a 3RL. Would you stay within those same needle configurations, or would you move up into the mags?
So with a thin scar, like a cleft lip scar, I would say probably like a 3 round liner or even a 5, just depending on how thick the scar is. You want to work within that scar. A mag is way too big for a scar like that. If you were working, say, on a stretch mark or even just something, I basically want my mag to fit into the scar. So if my mag is going outside of the scar, it's too big of a needle configuration.
Yep. Yeah, makes sense. Awesome. What about pigments? So I know that lip pigments have a lot of titanium dioxide. Does it look different on the skin if we're using too much titanium dioxide versus the vermilion if we're trying to create symmetry, for example?
Yeah, so basically you want to break it down into 2 categories. You're going to recreate lip color. So that, you know, you could use PermaBlend or whatever colors that you use and not worry about titanium dioxide. When you're working with scars and skin color, titanium dioxide in higher quantities will cause you trouble with discoloration, making the color heal too bright. There are now camouflage colors in skin tones with no titanium dioxide, which then like completely wipes that off the table.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay. Yeah. What about sensitivity? When this client's name is June, and when she came in and talked to me and I took some pictures of her, one of her concerns was sensitivity. Is she going to be more sensitive, less sensitive? Are you using the same type of topicals? How do you go about it?
So for me, 2 things. Number 1, there is something called a dental block that they could have done at a dentist. For a cleft lip, I think it's overkill. When I that, this is a sensitive area, as we know. So when I would use that, and when I have used that, is when I'm dealing with big skin grafts around the mouth, because that can get sensitive. Scars are typically not super sensitive as just regular tissue is, but you have that mix, and so it can be pretty uncomfortable for clients. A cleft lip, honestly, the regular numbing that you use will totally suffice.
Good. When I first joined the industry, dental blocks were the jam. That's what everybody did.
Yeah.
And I, at the time, thinking it was a little bit of overkill. So I love to have improved our numbings and that it will work just fine for this. Okay, so I think the biggest...
the one tricky thing I was about dental blocks is when you're then dealing with like lip symmetry and like getting that all in, you better make sure it's mapped out perfectly, because it really distorts the mouth, like from different nerve pulls. And you know, when you've had freezing at the dentist and you leave and you kind of look like you've had a stroke, well, the same thing happens to that patient when you're trying to work and get good lip symmetry. So if I do send them for a dental block, I make sure I've mapped, measured, and then used my surgical pen. And then I tell the dentist, I'm like, do not disrupt this line if you can. Like, don't be wiping it and cleaning it with alcohol. It's prepped, it's ready to go. Like, just stay in the mouth for me, because the integrity of that is important. And usually it's fine.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, I think one of the big things that everyone was asking me to ask you was, how do you deal with symmetry on a cleft lip?
So
Do you
symmetry,
well,
sorry, say that again, Britt.
do you map it like you would typically?
Yes, 100%. So I'm not, okay, it's a smoke and mirrors game when it comes to symmetry when you're dealing with a cleft lip or anything like a skin graft or scars and lines from stitches. So what you want to do is I take a lip pencil typically, and then I sharpen it like it's super pointy sharp, and I draw on what I think would be the most enhancing and create as much of that like fullness in the lip that she has on the other side to match. Now, often there are like little bit of indentations from the scars. So that's when I say smoke and mirrors. Like sometimes if you pull it up a little bit in one area and drop it down, you can eliminate that, and then vice versa. So those are the things that I do to create symmetry. I had a really cool skin graft. This made me think of it. It was a woman who basically had this entire part of her face cut out and her lip was missing. So from here, and so it cut off, and then the skin graft like just basically attached there. It was strange. So what I did was I actually I drew her lip out onto the skin graft to create the illusion of that lip. Like if I had just kind of tattooed it with what I had, it would have looked strange. It would have not been, in my mind, an improvement. I know I could have done better. So that was just a really amazing case too. I colored the whole skin graft in to her, match her skin tone and the skin color of her face, and then re-tattooed her entire lip and then created the lip to go out. It was incredible.
That's amazing. That is amazing. How do you suggest we manage our clients' expectations when maybe the pigment does heal a little bit different on their skin versus, you know, inside the lip? How do we manage their expectations? Because typically we wouldn't go outside the vermilion too much.
Yeah.
We would come in the vermilion to create symmetry, but in this case, we're probably gonna do a little bit of both.
Right.
How do we manage their expectations?
Well, to lead, first off, paramedical clients are completely different than PMU clients because they are not looking for perfection. They're 99.9% of the time looking for improvement. So there's that. Those are very different expectations to start with. But when I have that paramedical tattoo client, I'm very clear, lay my cards out on the table to say, hey, listen, like, I think I could get 50% improvement. I think I could create a lip that does extend for you. It's not going to look exactly like this side, but I'm able to get some decent symmetry. The color may not be 100% perfect, but I'm going to do my best to get it as close as I can. How does that sound to you? And on my paperwork, it also, there's a disclaimer that there are no guarantees. And I do, not that I want to discourage people, but I, like, knock on wood, almost never have unhappy paramedical tattoo clients because they are not, the expectation is not for me to like flash a magic wand and, sorry, my phone is just getting a little wobbly here, to flash a wand and then make it perfect for them. Like at no point in time do they walk in and they're like, hey, listen, like I need this to be invisible or go away. Sometimes the tiniest little improvement for them, they're thrilled with. That's all they wanted. And so I think when you can exceed their expectations, always that's the best thing to do. But, you know, I just lead just being super honest, and that always works. It is just when you know these clients, they're just, the gratitude that they have for you to make an improvement, sometimes no matter how small, is all they're looking for. So
that's awesome. What can clients expect during the healing process? Is it the same as a typical lip? Is it different?
Yeah, for a cleft lip, it's actually super common to expect the same heel lip as a lip tattoo because most of the time you will be tattooing the lip because you need to kind of ombre and sort of watercolor everything in. I always use the example of, if you needed to paint your wall because, like, you know, there was some drywall damage and you fixed it and you're like, okay, well, I have to paint this. I mean, you just cannot paint the spot that you repaired. It's going to look horrible. So you need to take the whole, you know, paint across the wall so that it blends and looks seamless. Same idea with this type of tattooing. So at no point in time are you usually just taking a small part of the feature and tattooing that. You're usually going in to create, you know, a whole entire lip. It'd be like, I mean, I get this all the time. Could you just tattoo half my brow? Because I just need hair like in the front. I'm like, I could, but it's going to look shitty. So it would be better if we did this. And then they're like, oh, okay, great. So as far as heel lip goes, pretty much the same. The heel lip for scarring can be a little bit different depending on what I'm working on. So in my course, I go into great detail about here are things and hacks that they can do to get an amazing heel up. And it's sometimes case by case. And then a lot of times it's just like a rinse and repeat for a lot of them.
Awesome. Really quick, I know that you have to go. I have to go too. I got kiddos ready that I got to get ready for school tomorrow. But I want to talk a little bit about your course, because if you guys hop on my website and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see Jody and her website link. You guys can click on it and you can get 10% off if you use Ink by Britt. So if they hop onto if they use that link and they hop onto your site, they able to get individual courses through you? And then are they also able to get a bundle? How does your course and all your courses work?
Yeah. So thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate you. And you can just go onto that, use your code, and they'll get the 10% off. They then can purchase anything they want off the Academy and receive that discount on everything.
Awesome. Very cool. I think we covered just about everything, unless you have anything else you want to add, or if anyone else has any questions. Then
I guess I would just close with, I can't encourage PMUs enough to get into this side of the business. It is rewarding. It elevates you from your competition. It separates you from your competition. And taking paramedical tattoo training, if you're already a PMU, literally, honestly, you can recover your costs in a treatment. It's that unbelievable. It's just a whole different ball game that you can add to your business that I think I actually just had someone message me today who is in the course, and she said what made her finally decide to do it was because there's nobody in her area doing it, and she's getting all these inquiries and no one's there to do it. It's just like hey, no brainer, you know, to add that. So it's a really great way to give back to your community. It's something amazing to add to your business. And yeah, I'm here for it, girl.
That's awesome. I think that you have the coolest job. We both have just the coolest job. I love it.
We do. Hey, I was going to say, why don't I'll post some before and after photos of the cleft lip, and you can as well. And we'll just share it with all the viewers.
Awesome. I would love that. Really quick before we log off, can I show you how I drew symmetry on my client's lip?
Oh yeah, you can.
Say yeah?
Yeah, I'd love that.
I used Procreate. I've never used Procreate before. Tonight was the very first time I pulled it out and tried it. And I definitely need to start using this more. But so I don't know how like clear and crisp this is for your guys' screen. Can you see that? Okay.
Hey,
so
Britt,
would you do
scars there you go. Might not.
Better. Yes, you would. So you would go like, you would do something like that, even coming that far out of the vermilion line.
Yeah, you got it. And I would also be working on that scar. There's some tension in it. So by doing some needling on it with some really good scar aftercare, you'll break up that tension and it will release the part in her nose that's pulling, creating like it's doing a little bit of this. It will relax that, because then this pull is not happening as much. So not only are you adding that symmetry by your tattoo, but you take it to the next level by loosening up that scar. Those are things doctors don't do. It's like, that's the end of the road. They did an amazing job getting rid of a cleft lip, and that surgery does look incredible. But clearly she's there for you and wanting that last little, you know, cherry on top, you know, to finish it up and really, you know, probably give her that last little bit of confidence back.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Good to know.
Okay. You have to post your after photos of this. I'm so excited to see
I will.
it.
I should be doing her lips probably this week. So I will post the before and afters and I'll tag you and everyone can see the results. I'm super excited. So thank you for your help. I'm so excited.
Hey, we should do a live and talk about your procedure when you're done it. And then we can like brief.
Let's do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
I
love it.
This is awesome. I appreciate you hopping on and doing this with me and hosting.
Oh God, anytime.
Awesome. Thanks, girl. Have a good night. Enjoy your family.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you. And I look forward to this cleft lip success you're going to have this week.
It's going to be awesome. Thank you.
Okay, take care.
See ya.
Bye.